Those who raise their voice against atrocities committed against Hindus, why do their handles get suspended? Authentic, verified Twitter handles, then deemed as unauthentic and then suspended. And then suddenly, it just looks like voices which are claiming justice or demanding justice will get muted. Why? Why do social media platforms do this preferential treatment? Remember the number of reminders the government had to send about suspending certain handles which were pushing fake hashtags, fake videos around the time the ramparts of the Red Forts were assaulted by miscreants, by those who have got no respect for the idea of India and for the tricolour. They also disrespected the Nishan Sahib. But all of that was allowed to be pushed and perpetrated, in fact amplified. What kind of bots and what kind of intelligence this is? Is this deliberately coded artificial intelligence that will selectively vilify and of course amplify hate against India and against Hindus? What is this agenda against Hinduness is a question we are forced to ask when handles like the Bangladesh Unity Council, like that of ISKCON Bangladesh, those for the last 3, 4, 5 years I've been talking about it, suddenly are suspended. They're gone. Suddenly, official Twitter account of ISKCON Bangladesh, established by Sri Lanka, that's what it says, but it's suspended, it's gone. And the talk is that these are fake handles. If they were fake handles, how come they were verified? If they were fake handles, how is it that they've been active for the last 2, 3 years talking about the cause of community? Suddenly, how did they become fake is a question that many are asking. And of course, people are asking, why would you suspend only those which are raising voices and concerns about Hindus? So isn't this a blatant, brazen example of Hindu messiah and also messiah for Bharat? Let's go across to our guests this evening and ask them this question. Is this an effort to deliberately dilute Hinduness? Joining us, Radharaman Das, Vice President, ISKCON Kolkata, Dr. Ankita Datta, researcher on Purvottar Bharat and columnist, and Ratan Sharda, author and RSS researcher. Namaste to all our panelists. Hare Krishna, Radharaman ji. This ISKCON handle, was it fake?
Hare Krishna.
Many people are saying that this is a fake handle, does not belong to ISKCON Bangladesh.
Actually, it is. We'll not go on that debate if it was fake or not. But the point is that many handles which has been suspended, they were voicing the whatever they were voicing. Actually, they were communicating whatever was happening in Bangladesh, and especially at this time when this genocide is happening, to muzzle the voice of those handles which are reporting from the ground. Is one of the greatest crime Twitter has committed.
True, but why do you think this is happening?
Twitter, we know that on Twitter there are many militant organizations handles. Also, we know that I think 1 year back, one ex-president of some South Asian country, he has given a very he has quoted that those who are criticizing a particular religion should be beheaded, but no action was taken against those handles. But these handles, they were reporting from the ground, and suddenly one day Twitter decides to muzzle the voices and suspend all these handles.
How is that fair?
This is very shocking.
How is that fair? So as long as you are standing there and chanting bhajans, you are allowed to. But the moment you show that people are being culled, there is rabid hatred and pan-Islamism on display, and fanatics are on the run, and minorities are in danger, then your handle will be suspended. This is not fair, Radharaman ji.
Yes, of course. Especially as we know in Bangladesh, there is no connectivity. Electricity is not there. People are very, very afraid, and only few handles like this. Twitter has definitely become a very big platform. But when many reports we were getting from there, the attack on ISKCON temple, actually I personally came to know from that handle, ISKCON Bangladesh handle. And then we raised here in India, and world came to know about what is happening in Bangladesh. Twitter claims that they stand for freedom of speech. So is this freedom of speech when crime is happening, when people are suffering, they are just suspending handles one after another. Not only that, my handle also they locked few days back. And this is not first time they locked my handles. Many times in past also they keep locking my handle.
No, but that is selective.
This is very shocking.
No, but Ratan Sharda ji, that is selective.
Very selective.
That means this is not a platform for free expression. This is a platform which says that you can do and say anything against a certain law, a certain group, that is Hindus. You can say anything against a country, that is Bharat. But anybody who stands up to defend or highlights what the hatred of the Messiah is, then you will be suspended. You are not allowed to do that.
Anand, Twitter's game of being partial news portal and partially highly biased control of the news and the dissemination of information is very well known now. It's not new, so it is not at all surprising. If you respond to any illiberal or you respond to any Islamist, your account can be limited, your account can be banned, your account can be controlled. This is visible for months now, years now, in fact. Point is that they still rule the roost because not every government has taken a stern action against them. That is point one. Point two is that the bigger worry is that they have Talibans and their people with verified handles who kill women, who kill men, children, who oppress women. They are officially honored by the verified handles. Many such handles exist. There are so-called fact checker handles who themselves spread fake news. That is allowed. There is a concerted effort, let us say a larger picture, there is a concerted effort to oppress Hindus, to demonize Hindus. If you look at the global dismantling of the global Hindutva on the west side, and then move to attack in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, in India itself, and Bangladesh, you find a certain pattern of demonizing Hindus and also at the same time attacking Hindus. One child's photo could shake up entire world, and millions of Syrian refugees could walk into Europe, but they were not given space by any big Islamic country. This is one proof that what kind of partiality this NSC, UNSC and UN play. But a 10-year-old child has been raped and mass murdered, and that is why she died due to mass rape. And there is nobody is at least shaken up. The global community is silent. Twitter is just small part of the world, but global community, UNSC, UNO is silent. They should have sent out peacekeeping force there. It is not a small minority, and it is not a new story in Bangladesh. We just keep quiet because of Hindu persecution. From 25 to 30% population in 1947, it has been reduced to 8%. And this atrocity on Hindus began in 1946. Direct action kept on. In 71, 30 million Hindus were killed and raped. Right. And then you had 75 coup when Hindus were again thrown out of Bangladesh. Then you had this continuous process. And Awami League party to act after a week and nobody speaking up. I'm embarrassed that our own politicians, our own leaders, our radio silence the so-called secular liberals who cry for something happening in Syria or something happening in Europe are keeping quiet. They have no heart. It is shameful for me to say that we are behaving like this, and that's why we cannot even tell world to behave in a better way. And because the marketing of this victimhood by minority so-called Islamist people is much better. Hindus have not learned to cry, to throw their weight around, to lobby for the rights. This is the reason they are being oppressed.
No, but the fact is that Hindus as a religious denomination or a classification are not even listed or recognized by the UN. There is no there is no recognition, and that's a reality. The fact is that Hindus as a grouping are not deemed a religious entity. So there is no classification. So there is no rights. There is nothing that you can stand up for and ask, because Hinduism or Hindu is defined as a way of life. So if it is a way of life, so then it is not treated and respected as a way of life. And if it is a faith, it is not recognized as a faith. That's the reality. I just have to say.
Is it a crime to be plural? Is it a crime to respect all religions?
No, it's not a crime to be plural, but what is the greatest strength is now being projected as a weakness.
Let them at least recognize the Durga Pujaks or Shiv Pujaks or Vishnu Pujaks. Let them do it that way, whatever they want to do.
No,
And when dharma is not, when
that
dharma
is what I'm trying to
of a
say.
secularist value.
That respect, like I always keep saying, is a door that swings both ways. The fact of the matter is that we are expected, or Hindus are expected, to respect other faiths because we are plural, and those who practice Hindu faith are plural. But then there are those who believe that it is either their way or the highway, and those who do not understand their ways or follow their ways do not deserve to live.
So
and it is also divided in sects there in terms of sectarianism. Ratanji, please yield. Ratanji, please yield. Let me go across to Dr. Ankita Datta. But Dr. Datta, before I come across to you, Tulsi Gabbard has endorsed support for what is towards Bangladeshi Hindus. She's raised concerns about what's happening. Just want to play that out and then I'll come to you.
It broke my heart to see such hate and violence being directed towards devotees of God in their temples in Bangladesh. For these jihadists to believe that it is pleasing to God to burn and destroy temples and the murti of such a saintly person as His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This just shows how far away from God they really are. God is love, and His true servants embody and manifest that love in the world. Now's the time for the supposedly secular government of Bangladesh to protect that country's religious minorities, including Hindus, Christians, and Buddhists, from the jihadist forces of hate.
Dr. Datta.
So I think in continuation of what Ratan Sharda ji has already said, I think the recent incidents in quick succession, if we look from 15th August 2021, there has been an escalated attempt to not just victimize but also demonize Hindus, including the firecracker ban, the entire Jashn-e-Riwaz episode of Fab India, hatred for Hindu symbols, Hindus, and everything that is related to Hindu, which has been both subtle and open. And it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that there is an explicit propaganda going against the Hindus, right from the organizing of the global hate campaign on dismantling Hindutva, to the increasing attacks on non-Muslims, especially in Kashmir, to the attacks on Bangladeshi Hindus in Bengal, vandalizing of Durga Puja pandals, and the latest incident of attack against ISKCON temple in Bangladesh. Besides the lynching of alleged BJP supporters in Lakhimpur, the hatred is there on the surface, and it is not just limited to the political level, but also it has penetrated to the cultural and as well as social levels. Because the recent episodes of the killings of Hindus in Kashmir and Bangladesh, these are all but symptoms of a larger malaise prevailing in India and elsewhere. Selective targeting of Hindus, which must be treated as a stark manifestation of Hindu hatred, multiple assaults on Hindu identity in multiple countries and multiple platforms, that has been going on so casually in such a manner that somewhere down the line it has now become normalized. It has become so normalized, and we have been fed this false argument of the difference between Hindutva and Hinduism as it was visible in the Dismantling Global Hindutva campaign, and very much espoused and propagated by an elite coterie of Indian liberals and the Indian media too. So yes, Hindu media, as you say, it is definitely a problem which is there at every level, from the political to the cultural and the entertainment. It has penetrated every aspect of our lives. Like, for example, if we go back, the web series Patal
we will go back and deeper into the aspects because I've run out of time. But I just quickly want to take 10 seconds to say Muktamona, liberal organization whose founder and engineer was hacked to death in Dhaka University in 2015, and since many Muktamona have been brutally hacked and killed in Bangladesh on the pretext of insulting Islam. Pathikrit Pine sending us that. We take this forward in the coming days. For the moment, winding up this edition of The Right Stand. Stay with us. Brass Tacks with Zaka right now.